Our next speaker is Suzanne Adely. Suzanne is a lawyer and the president of the National Lawyers Guild and a member of the Bureau of the International Association of Democratic Lawyers. The National Lawyers Guild is a progressive bar association of American lawyers and law practitioners. The International Association of Democratic Lawyers is a non-governmental organization that has special consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council and are accredited to participate in the Human Rights Council's sessions as an observer through the National Lawyers Guild's International Committee. She has worked to use the law to expose and build accountability for U.S. imperialist policies. She'll be speaking on the current efforts of these organizations to expose the illegal occupation of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Please join me in welcoming Suzanne Adely.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Aloha, greetings to everybody. I want to just give special thanks to my colleague, Dr. Keano Sai, for giving me the opportunity to address you all today. As Dr. Moore mentioned, I am the president of the National Lawyers Guild and a member of the Bureau of the International Association of Democratic Lawyers. The National Lawyers Guild is the oldest and largest progressive bar association in the U.S. Our members include lawyers, legal workers, jailhouse lawyers, and law students. The NLG was formed in 1937 as the U.S.'s first racially integrated bar association to advocate for the protection of constitutional, human, and civil rights. And as our mission states, we regard human rights and ecosystems to be more sacred than property rights. And that is reflected in the work that we do, which is very wide in scope. I have had the privilege of acting as the NLG's national president since 2021. Yet for many years, I have also been one of the co-chairs of the National Lawyers Guild International Committee. NLG International uses its platform to bring attention to the imperialist policies of the US government around the globe and the continuing perpetuation of injustice that comes from those policies. We engage in international law and international legal mechanisms to expose these violations of human rights by the US government and corporate entities. In 2019, at our annual convention in North Carolina, NLG International, with the help of Dr. Sai, officially established the NLG Hawaiian Subcommittee and committed itself to supporting the work of the Royal Commission of Inquiry. It was an easy decision. Keano and his colleagues, including Steve, laid out for us a clear and simple legal analysis that the Kingdom of Hawaii was under military occupation. The law and the historical record was clear, yet it never occurred to us prior to meeting our Hawaiian colleagues to look at Hawaii through that framework. As a result of the work of the Hawaiian Subcommittee in 2020, the NLG national membership passed a national resolution committing the NLG to working in support of this movement and calling upon the United States to immediately begin to comply with international humanitarian law in its prolonged and illegal occupation of the Hawaiian Kingdom since 1893. The resolution also stated that the occupation of Hawaii is the longest-running belligerent occupation of a foreign country in the history of international relations, and the United States has been in violation of international law in this capacity for over a century. It went further to say the NLG also condemns the unlawful presence and maintenance of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command with its 118 military sites throughout the Hawaiian Islands, which has caused the islands to be a target for nuclear strike. NLG also stated that it calls for the United States to immediately comply with international humanitarian law and begin to administer the laws of the Hawaiian Kingdom as the occupied state. It called upon the legal and human rights community to view the U.S. presence in the Hawaiian Islands through the prism of international law and to roundly condemn it as an illegal occupation. It clearly stated a support for the Hawaiian Council of Regency, who represented the Hawaiian Kingdom at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in its efforts to seek resolution in accordance with international law, as well as its strategy to have the state of Hawaii and its counties comply with international humanitarian law as the administration of the occupying state. And it called upon the UN member states and non-member states to not recognize as lawful a situation created by a serious violation of international law such as this, and to not render aid or assistance in maintaining the unlawful situation. As an internationally wrongful act, all states shall cooperate to ensure the United States complies with international humanitarian law and consequently bring an end to the unlawful occupation of the Hawaiian Islands. The language of this resolution was also adopted by the International Association of Lawyers in 2021. The IADL is an international organization of human rights lawyers and jurists founded in 1946 with member associations and individual members in over 90 countries around the globe. The IADL is dedicated to upholding international law and promoting the tenets of the UN Charter in furtherance of peace and justice. The IADL has worked with the Council and organizations like the American Association of Jurists to bring this analysis to UN colleagues around the globe, including through the US Human Rights Council in Geneva. Additionally, the NLG, IADL, and the Water Protectors League, a US-based legal organization that defends those criminalized for protecting the natural resources of sovereign indigenous nations, jointly filed an amicus brief supporting the Hawaiian Kingdom's complaint against the US, requesting a declaratory judgment and effective end of the US occupation. As this work has developed within our organization, the conversations that we've been having inside and outside the NLG often go like this. We would reiterate to them what we've learned from all of you, point out the legal and historical truth, the illegal occupation of Hawaii, and point out that the framework of the laws of occupation apply using the legal and historical accounts that have been presented to the world. And very often, the faces of our colleagues would go from a look of confusion to then a look of surprise, and then a look of realization and recognition that this is absolutely true. But you know, we can't just leave it at that, right? It's not just about getting that recognition of the legal facts and the historical facts. It's not just about it being an anomaly in history or an interesting piece of international legal discourse that people like to write about and talk about. It's a reminder that the US is fundamentally an imperialist nation, and that the US invasion of Hawaii was one of its earliest imperialist projects. And that the violation and the stripping of the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Hawaii has had direct material impact on the Hawaiian people, especially in the context of economic and political self-determination. I actually want to quote a colleague of mine, Natalie Segovia, which is something that she wrote in the amicus brief. She's from the Water Protectors League. This case is about the sovereignty of the Hawaiian Kingdom and the right of self-determination for an entire nation. I don't mean lukewarm self-determination within the boundaries of a settler state. I mean the self-determination that is at the heart of international law, the right of nations to self-govern, to freely determine their political status, their economic, social, and cultural development within their own territory. I'd like to end on that note and also state that the NLG and the IADL will continue to do our part in solidarity with you. So thank you very much.